Have you ever been confronted by a piece of music you have never seen before and had to sight read? Well, there are 5 elements you need to master if you want to be a good sight reader. I'm Dima Mondello, a professional and award-winning musician, and I'm here to help you in being a better musician. There are 5 elements in being able to play music correctly, and each one needs to be mastered. They are 1. Playing the correct notes, 2. Playing the correct length of notes, 3. Playing the correct articulation, 4. Using the correct dynamics, and 5. Playing at the correct tempo. The best scenario would be to execute all 5 elements at once, but depending on your level of playing and experience, that's not always possible. You need to first master each element individually. So, let's start. Assuming you are in the correct clef for your instrument. Before you start, look at the key signature and familiarize yourself with the key by playing the scale. This will prepare your fingers and brain in playing in the correct key. Now, look at the notes and see if there are any accidentals like added sharps or flats in the melody. Note them down in your head. Now it's time to play. If you are a total beginner in sight reading, start with a short piece of music you have never seen before. Then start by playing each note at a tempo no faster than you can read it. This, of course, will mean that the timing or tempo will be off. Try, if you can, to hold longer notes longer than the shorter notes. Try and maintain some sort of basic rhythm, but don't let that be the priority right now. Your aim is to play each note correctly. Go through the piece, familiarize yourself with it. When you manage to go through the piece 3 times without a mistake, you are ready for step 2. A side note, if the piece is long, break it up into 8-bar phrases and repeat each 8 bars 3 times without a mistake before moving on to the next phrase. Let's move on to step 2. Now that you have familiarized yourself with the notes, it's time to look at the note values. Again, play at a tempo where you have time to read the notes before you play them. You can avoid articulation and slurs, but be careful not to extend notes longer before a rest. See rest as part of the music, which they are. If you did step 1 correctly, you will already have noticed that you are more confident in reading the notes. Go through the piece, as in step 1, 3 times without a mistake before moving on to step 3. Let us now look at the articulation. You have now gone through the piece more than a few times and should be feeling more confident with it. Articulate the notes with a slight accent so you feel exactly where the note starts. Avoid slurring into the notes. And, as in step 2, avoid extending notes longer before a rest. And where there are slurs, make sure you use them. And like step 1 and 2, when you can play the piece 3 times without a mistake, you're ready for the next step. If you feel you need a rest after all that playing, now's the time to do so, but no longer than 5 minutes. Hopefully, you would have now familiarized yourself with the piece to a point where you are rhythmically secure at a comfortable tempo. It is time now to look at the dynamics. As a guide, the rule of thumb is mezzo forte is equal to your normal playing volume. Anything slightly quieter is mezzo piano, and playing slightly louder is forte. So, if piano is asked for, then it needs to be quieter than your mezzo piano, and fortissimo is louder than your forte. If there are any crescendos and diminuendos, make sure they are smooth. Wind players will probably need diaphragm exercises in order to execute crescendo and diminuendo properly, but that's for another video. Once you have gone through the piece, yes, 3 times without a mistake, you should now be able to play it at its given tempo. If the piece is slower than you have been playing, be careful not to rush. The use of a metronome should keep you in check. If the piece is faster than what you have been practicing, then play only as fast as it is possible for you to play without mistakes. If that means playing slower than the given tempo, then so be it. As your technique progresses, you will be able to catch up with yourself. Once you are satisfied with a piece, put it to the side and forget it. Move on to another short piece. You should be doing one sight reading exercise every time you practice for no longer than, say, 10 to 15 minutes. Never use the same piece twice. With time, you will be able to execute step 1 and 2 at the same time, which will be your step 1. Step 3 and 4 combined will be your step 2. If you are constantly practicing sight reading, you will eventually, maybe months away, be able to execute all 5 elements at first sight, which is what sight reading is all about.